Hi, welcome to Naima Creates. I'm Naima, and today I'll be creating my 2020 bullet journal for the year. Really excited about it, to be starting a new year in a fresh journal. Still using the Leuchtturm 1917 bullet journal. I think it's probably the most popular one. It's typically $24 Canadian. I got it on sale for Black Friday for $12, so hey, I'm winning. So the journal comes with numbered pages. It has 2 bookmarks. It comes with a little sticker sheet that you can add your name on, and also for the spine. And I don't really use it, so I just put it in the pocket that comes in the back of the journal. And it also has an index as well, so you don't have to worry about creating one yourself, which is great. So to start off with, I'm just making my cover page for 2020. I didn't want to go too crazy over the top, but still something that'll be nice. Like when I look at it, I can be like, oh, okay, cool. Like it's a new year, new me, as they say. So I just took some sparkly washi tape that I had. Actually, I just got this at the dollar store, so I was happily surprised to find they had like such amazing tape. It kind of reminds me of like a mermaid scales. Anyways, that's beside the point. So inside of this grid that I created, so this page doesn't actually have any of the grid squares because it's before the actual journal. So I did have to pull out my Spice Girls ruler to line up the borderline excuse me, of this, and then I just traced inside as well, just to see where I was going to put everything. As you can see, the lines there of just making sure that everything is straight, and that it falls in an even rectangular space. So at the bottom there, I just have "if found, please return to," and then I'll add my name and maybe phone number in there. I'm just not going to do that and then post it on the internet, so that's why it's not there, but that's what you would do, of course. So I've decided to use my Tombow dual brush pens. That's what the color is coming from, and these dots here are just from the white UniPosca, the white paint pen, and I'll talk about that a bit later. This little gem here is also from the dollar store. Once again, not to say that I get everything from the dollar store, but hey, if you could save a little bit of money, why not? It adds a bit of sparkle and shine, and you don't have to worry about the price. Like I think it was $1.25, something like that, for an entire sheet. And there's ones that have pearl shapes, and then silver, blue, royal blue, purple, everything. So you can get what you're looking for, and you can just, feel free to buy extra stationery. You don't have to feel guilty about it, right? So on the flip side, I'm starting my quote page. This isn't actually a quote from anyone. I just sort of thought of this as my, I guess, mantra or thought for the year ahead. So just no more not bad or fine, live life in great. So I think I've spent a lot of time, especially this year, I've noticed, as we're getting to the end of the year, you do your little self-reflection, especially with bullet journaling, and I feel like a lot of times I'm like, oh yeah, this thing is fine, it's not bad, everything's not bad, and that's fine, it's good, like it's not bad. But why not have things be great, right? So I think that's how you sort of become comfortable and complacent, is if you're just comparing yourself to situations that are worse than yours. Sometimes that can be helpful if you're really down, but then how do you also move forward and get to an even better place, right? Where you can look back on the place you are now and be like, oh, I'm better than I was then, right? So that's my goal for the year ahead. We'll see how well that works. So this section that you're seeing me do with all the washi tape all over the place, I actually had stopped where I was before the washi tape, and then I realized that I just thought it was a bit too bland or boring, so I was like, what can I do? I just pulled out all the stuff that I have lying around and just tried to throw it at this page and see if it would work. I think it turned out alright, especially because this page is right beside the index. I will be seeing it, I think, fairly frequently. I mean, at least once a month when I'm putting in my new pages, right? And I'm just listing them in the index here. So yeah, so I just wanted it to look nice. I wanted it to be something that I could actually be like, oh yeah, I need to be doing this. Good reminder to myself. So the washi tape I got from Michael's, just the regular craft store. These sparkles are once again the same I used on the first page from the dollar store. And then also those Tombow dual brush pens, and a silver metallic, it's not a Sharpie, it's like a Sharpie, but just some generic no-name brand. And that's what I added as the dots inside of the Live Life In section. So going on to the next page here, this is just the key. Truthfully, I don't really need to use this page because I know what each little symbol means, because this is now my third year bullet journaling. Wow. Yeah, so I don't really need it per se, but it's kind of standard to have it in there. And since I'm, you know, YouTubing and whatnot, in case you're new to bullet journaling, at least you'll have something to refer back to. You'll know what to do when you're designing your own. So I just like to be a little bit punny, which I've done this in the past 2 journals, and I'm keeping it going here in this third one, of using a key for the key, because it's not funny, but I'm still doing it. And then I'm just writing my little symbols of what each thing means. So I have the task, and then so on and so forth. If I started the task, if I completed it, rescheduled. Other people call it migrated. I don't know why it's migrated, I'm just saying rescheduled. And then birthday events, notes. So I'll use this when I'm actually going in my journal, so I don't have to write out, I'm rescheduling this event, or it is, you know, AJ's birthday. I can just write AJ, add the little symbol. I know that, okay, it's AJ's birthday, you know. So it keeps it simple and keeps everything very organized, very nice and neat, and in nice straight lines, as people love to do with bullet journaling. So on to this page now, I'm getting into the future log. The future log is basically just a look ahead at the entire year, having everything put out together. Typically, what I've done in the past, and I think what a lot of people do, is you put all of the calendar dates all on one page, and then you can design a separate, like, month by month spread afterwards. I just didn't feel like wasting paper, so I have combined it all in one page. I can still get a very quick view of the calendar, and then I can also get a quick view of things that I have going on each date. So I just drew a line across the middle, so there's 2 lines, top and bottom, so there's 4 squares in them, and then I've added my water and added, it's actually just the same markers. I'm planning on trying to use the same markers throughout the entire New Year setup, and I just scribbled those out onto that glass, just a regular coaster that I have. You can use a plate, you can use an actual palette, whatever you want to do. And then I'm taking some of that paint with my paintbrush. It's a water brush because then I don't have to keep dipping in the water all the time, and there's not too much water in the bristles. And then you just put that down, add the color to it, and then you watch it spread, just like a watercolor painting. So this is really nice and pretty. I saw this kind of style in another YouTuber's bullet journal setup for 2020. Hopefully, if I can find their page and remember which one I got it from, I'll link it down below in the description box, so you can also check out how they did their design. They did pretty much the entire journal with this kind of misty vibe. So yeah, I'll definitely link it if I can find it. So then you can just see here how it works, just adding the day, the number day, the symbol, and then what the thing is beside it. So hopefully I don't have too much going on and then I overrun my squares, but I think I should be fine. And then I just felt like I wanted a little bit of extra color added into the calendar just to separate the numbers from the events that were happening. And so I've just taken one of the markers again, added a line at the bottom, and then I just bled that up into the numbers because they're water-based, right? So the water will spread. And it wasn't quite enough color, so I've added some more via the coaster. So the next section that I'm working on is the goals section. So these are just goals that I'm going to try to focus on for the year rather than resolutions per se. The pen that I just used is the Tombow Calligraphy pen, the soft tip, which is not super soft, but it's softer than their hard tip version, which just helps give you a lot of control when you're doing these beautiful calligraphy strokes. Basically, when you're bringing the brush down or the pen down, you push harder, and when you're going up, you just push very lightly, so that way you have those nice thin lines on your way up and then the thicker lines on your way down. So I organize my goals right now for this year into career, health, and just life. So kind of just general, generic goals. So I will talk through that a bit in a second. I wasn't really a fan of how I drew the G for goals. I realized that I wanted it to be this little pointy shape in the corner, so I just used my UniPosca white pen or white marker, whatever, paint pen, whatever you want to call it, to cancel out the section that I already drew. So basically just using it as whiteout, and you can use actual whiteout if you want. You can totally do that, or if you have a white gel pen that's fairly opaque, definitely go for it, so you don't have to worry about, oh no, I made a mistake, what do I do now? And you'll see there's another place later on that I do make a mistake, and I'll show you what I did to correct that. So on the right hand side of the page, I split it up into quarters, because, you know, adulting, do things in quarters, why not? So this is Q1 to 4, and just setting my targets of what do I actually want to accomplish each through each section, and then my progress. So at the end of those 3 months, have I actually done the things I needed to do to achieve my goals for the year, right? So hopefully my progress and my targets will match. Hopefully I will actually do what I set out to do, and then I can keep moving forward in each new quarter and reassessing, going through like that. So I think that's a really helpful way to keep stock of things, rather than, once again, resolutions just generically saying like, I want to lose weight, but what does that mean? What does that look like? Why do you need to lose weight? Do you really want to lose weight, or do you want to tone up, or what is it, right? So helping to be super specific. So I just penciled in some things here. I'm going to actually go back over it myself afterwards and think about what I want each goal to be, but I just wrote down some simple things there so you can get an idea. So for life, I have things like, you know, organization. Health is like cook more meals and stuff like that. Career might be a financial goal, yeah, or just maybe a position that you want to get that you're not in right now, or even maybe an educational goal that you could have, or for your career, maybe you want to switch paths, move into marketing or developing, and you want to do some education like that, right? So you can write that down there. This is what you want to do. Be very specific about it. You can look up SMART goals on Google. I'm sure you might have seen it before if you're into goal setting at all. Just look up SMART goals, and then you'll be able to learn more about that. Not that this is like a productivity channel, but hey, maybe it is. I don't know. I'm just trying to help the people out, okay? So I hope this helps you out in some way. So this page is my financials page. I was, for this past year, I've been adding in a little financial section each month, but so many of the numbers are the same that I didn't really need to keep doing it over and over again. So I like the idea of just having it here at the beginning. There might be some changes because I also do a little bit of freelancing as well, I guess we can call it that, in addition to my actual full-time job. But this will just be like a basic, what we can put in, what we know for now, right? To start off with the minimum monthly income from my jobs, fixed expenses, so things that aren't going to change, like rent, phone bill, and then variable expenses, things like food or maybe transit, depending what you're doing. And then what I'm drawing right here is a savings jar. So, you know, as I, almost like a piggy bank kind of vibe, something to that effect. So as I go through the year, hopefully I can try to reach a savings goal. I just kind of came up with it right now. I didn't really have it in mind to have a savings goal, but I'm like, hey, why not? Hopefully we can see it, and then as we go along, each amount of money that we save, we can fill in another circle, and hopefully the entire jar will be filled by the end. So that'd be really exciting. And then along the bottom is just my actual total monthly income, so I'll add that in there, add them all up, minus fixed expenses, minus variable expenses, and then what I'm left with at the end, which is the net. So for these florals, actually there was another YouTuber that who I had seen. I think her name was Shayla. I will once again look her up and then I'll add the link below in the description box. She is a queen of botanicals. She's like has all of this stuff, and honestly more power to her, because me just drawing these 3 little flowers and then I had to do it on the other side, I was already so done and over it. Drawing every single petal, I was like, I do not want to do this anymore. Mind you, it looks really pretty and cute. I like how it turned out. Maybe because I was also just filming a video, so I wasn't feeling it, but I was just like, this is so time consuming. Do not recommend unless you really want it to look pretty and you have the time to chill. I mean, this is coming out before the holiday season, so hopefully you have some time to just sit back, relax, and take your time, draw it out, you know. I will link her channel so that you can see how she does it. She shows you like step by step how to draw everything out. It's really beautiful what she does. I just personally, I don't think I'm going to be doing it again, because ain't nobody got time for this, okay? I do not. Who knows? You'll see me in spring drawing florals. Groundbreaking. So for this page, I have my hourly schedule, just trying to maximize my time. I find that a lot of times I get home from work and then time's just passing, and then I don't really get to keep track of what I'm doing or trying to achieve those goals that I just mentioned before. So I've written out all the 24 hours here, and then I've added the half hour in on certain points. The place where I'm working, I'm not going to bother adding the half hours in, of course, because I'm just at the office. And then I will add it in afterwards, like when I actually stop and think about it. Okay, for this half hour, I'll focus on art. For this half hour, I'll focus on, you know, something else, right? Or tidying up, or talking to, like, having social time or whatever. Try to schedule all those various things in there. Don't be too rigid so you end up, you know, hurting your life or your mental health and well-being, but, you know, just try to be a little organized. That's what the whole point of this is, right? For the flowers, I did try a different sort of coloring style. I know I've seen people do that before, where they like color outside the lines and all kinds of stuff. I don't know if I'm really feeling it or not, but new year, new things, why not? So on the left is my 2020 memories page. That one will just be memories, like notable memories over the course of the year. So if I maybe go to someone's party or hang out with someone and it was a really good time, I can write it in there. Typically I put it in little clouds. I was planning to put it in flowers, so each petal I would write the memory inside the petal, and then as we go through the year, the entire page is full of flowers. But after drawing those few flowers on the page before, I'm tired. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but we'll see. I might just go back to my regular clouds as I usually do. We'll see. And then on the right is the notable news. So that's just, you know, what I've realized in doing my bullet journal now for the 3rd time is it's kind of like a, well, I guess it is a journal. I never really thought of it like that in the beginning. I just thought of it as a way to be productive, an agenda. But it's also a way to keep memories, and it's something that you can look back on and just sort of see what you were doing in your life at that time. It's really cool. Yeah, and so I thought it'd be cool to also have the notable news thing in, because there's certain, you know, events that happen in the world, and it'd be nice to see, like, just write them down, like, what did you think was important or worthy of writing down, you know? Like, I was looking at some random year-end thing, and it mentioned that whole Jussie Smollett thing. I guess I shouldn't bring that up, but, like, I was like, whoa, that was this year? That seems like a whole other time. But remember how crazy and dramatic that whole thing was? Oh my goodness. Anyways, yeah, so it'd be cool to like write something like that down, and then at the end of it you have this little tracker like right there of what the different news was that's happening in the world, right? Maybe I want to write about Greta or something, you know, it's kind of cool. So for this page is my joys and affirmations page. So this is another place where I had made the error. I'm sure you might have seen it as you were watching the playback here, but I was supposed to not color in that corner, and I was supposed to leave space for the square to go in, and of course I accidentally did. So all that I did is I just cut out a piece of the bullet journal paper from my previous bullet journal. You can also just pull one out from the back. There's a serrated edge along the inside of this journal, so you don't have to tear the paper. So I just ripped it out along the serrated edge and then cut it to shape, and I didn't end up putting it in on the right hand side. I was gonna just do it just to match the left, but I was like, it's fine. And then I used this washi tape. Once again, is also from the dollar store. They had so many shimmery dollar washi tapes at the dollar store. So I used that because, you know, golden sunshine, why not? And this is where I ended up using that paper, because I started writing aspirations instead of affirmations, which are two different things. So thankfully I was able to put that in there, and I'm just using my little like tape gun thing. I can't remember what it's called, but you can just use glue, like a glue stick, whatever you want to do. And so for the point of that page, on the left is joy, so things that bring me joy. So maybe if I'm feeling a bit down or something, I can refer back to that page and be like, oh yes, watching Cinderella Brandy does make me happy. Let me put that on and then try to, you know, get out of whatever funk that I'm in, right? So writing a list of things down like that, because you know when you're in those times, it's like you can't see the light, right? So this will help be my little sunshine to guide my way. And then on the right hand side are affirmations. So whatever it is that you feel like you want to affirm to yourself. So whether I put a few examples in there, like in pencil. So it's like, I am talented, I am smart, I am joyful, I am loved. Like whatever you want to put in, something that you can repeat to yourself or read it out loud, and then just bring yourself once again a little bit of extra joy. And you know, there's so much power in when we are speaking out loud, and you really do become what you talk about, right? So why not say good things about yourself? Maybe something that you're not feeling right now, but hopefully at the end of doing this, it'll help you to feel that way. Once again, I'm not a life coach. I don't know why this is getting too deep. But yeah. So on this page, I'm into acting. I'm in the film industry. So I like to have this there so I can just write like random acting notes, and then also maybe some little screenwriting things. You can use that as a films to watch page or TV shows to watch, so you can add them in right there, maybe give them a little rating if you want. That's how I use that page, but you can use it in the way that I just suggested as a movies to watch page. So here is the swatch page. When you're adding in, or sorry, not the swatch page, the page measurements, when you are doing this in your journal, which I highly recommend, make sure you put it on the left page, not on the right. So as I've done here, on the left. When you are referring back to it later, you'll see how it makes it much easier to use in this way, because when you flip it over, you just align it with the pages below. It's a bit hard for me to explain without you seeing me making all these hand movements, so just trust me, do it on the left, and then when you are setting up your journal yourself, you'll be able to see how it all comes together. So it's just writing the numbers so you know how many dots there are in the grid spacing, and then dividing in half, quarters, thirds. So when you're setting up your spreads, if you want to make your spread in quarters or thirds, you don't have to try to do the math and figure that all out again. You already did the math at the beginning here, and you're good to go. This page on the right is also integral, the swatch page. So I just include swatches of all the markers that I have, and the pens and the Sharpies and everything. You can also see the line thicknesses. For the Tombows, they all have numbers, so I just wrote the numbers all the way down, and then the markers that I'm using, I filled those in. You'll see later when I do the final flip through that I do color everything in. I just really did not feel like stopping my momentum to go gather all my markers from all over the place and put them all on this page right away, because sometimes when you have everything in front of you, it becomes overwhelming. So just keep it simple, and I will do that in after. I love doing that with the black pens and the black markers, because then you can see just how opaque they are. Some of them are a bit lighter in shade. They're not like such a deep dark black. So having them all like that together is perfect. And of course, the Sharpie did bleed through the page, but otherwise you can see, I mean, with this journal, what I like about it, there is a bit of shadowing, I will say that, which does suck. But other than that, I haven't had any experiences of bleeding, unless once again I'm pressing hard with a Sharpie, which I rarely even use anyways. I just have that there just so you can see that you don't need to spend all this money buying a whole bunch of stuff that you don't really need. Because I know I've had a few people say that one of the reasons they haven't gotten into bullet journaling is because they feel like it's too expensive, but it's really not. It's just use your Crayola markers. I use my Crayola markers more than the Tombow ones. And then just, if you can get a black pen, then you're good to go. Like, that's it, right? And once again, I got this journal on sale. It was 12 bucks. I'm sure there's other ones out there too that you can find that are dotted spacing. Or even if you just use a blank journal, it's just a bit more time consuming in terms of figuring out the lines and stuff. But yeah, you'll be all right. This page is the art ideas page. I'm just gonna add all my art ideas here. So maybe I want to paint like a ladybug. I'll remember, oh yeah, because sometimes you just lack inspiration. So here, it's right there. And then on the left is the video schedule. You can use that as a project schedule in general. So let's say you are a student, I don't know what your life is, and you have projects or studies that have to come up. On the left hand side, I would put what that thing is. So if you have an exam, right, so you just write what that exam is, bio exam, right? And then start by, so that's where I would put when I want to start working on this thing, so when you want to start studying, and then due by or due date, so that's like when is the exam, like what is the actual date of the exam. That helps you to also be accountable instead of just being like, oh yeah, it's in 2 weeks time. No, because you already know that you ain't gonna do it, okay? Because I know that I also didn't do it. We don't need to be studying the night or 2 nights before, okay? So let's set the start by. So I was like, okay, I need to start studying by, you know, a week or 2 before. And same thing if it's a paper. I need to get my research done by this date, and then I need to get my first draft done by another date, right? So just do whatever's best for you and keep your life organized. That's what this is for, right? So the next couple pages here are for tickets. And so I've been doing that just in this previous journal. It's been pretty fun. It's just kind of putting in any, if I go to a movie or if I travel, then I can put like a part of the boarding pass in here, put the movie stub. If I go to a play, put that in here. And so I'm just basically adding background color, so that way when I put those tickets in, which typically they're just plain white, I'll have something to be in the background instead of it just being a boring page. When you're using water in your bullet journal, be aware this isn't, of course, watercolor paper, so don't oversaturate it with water. But I do love this kind of watercolor vibe with, you know, all the colors just spreading together in the water. So wet the page a little bit, wet your brush, dip it in the color, and then just bam, 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 spatter it all across the page, and you'll have this beautiful look. I wish I had done this for the previous page too, but I just didn't think of it until then. But either way, it's still nice. It's still good. It's fine. Once again, I shouldn't be living life in fine or not bad. I should live life in great. So now you've seen this video, you can live life in great, and you can do this paint spatter look instead of the smudgy, flowy one. Okay, well, I guess now we're at the final flip through. Thank you so much for watching. If you do like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you like it, or subscribe to the channel. I'm trying a new thing this year, trying a different software, so hopefully my videos can be a bit brighter and better for you guys. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you want to see. Last year I was doing movies throughout the year. I don't think I'm going to stick with just movies this year, but I will do some more. So if there's any movie that you like and you want to see a bullet journal spread for, let me know, as long as, you know, there's some like artistic or a fun vibe to it, I can definitely do my best, give it a shot, and try to make something that you will also like. And let me know if you do use any of these spreads in your own journal. I would really love to know like which one works for you, and yeah, so I can also be better and make things that you guys also find interesting. I mean, I'm doing this for myself, to do art for myself, and I want to encourage you to also do art for yourself and not just to watch things and let it pass you by. So thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.